Anin bojo, Mijake and Dodam, Shkodenigan Wawaskonen Indigenous. Shawanaga and Dunjaba, Nishanabe, Kwe, Ojibwe, and Dow. I bring greetings in the language of my ancestors. My spirit recognizes your spirit. I want to welcome you to the Mayor's Gala. It's my honor to open us up in a good way with a good heart and a good mind. And I have lit the medicines. And so I am smudging all of you in that beautiful cyber smudging way that we're now relegated to. I am known as Grandmother Kim Wheatley. I carry the spirit name, head or leader of the fire flower. And I come from the great Ojibwe and Potawatomi nations. My reserve is here in Ontario. It's called Shawanaga First Nations, and I was given tobacco to speak to you today in a good way, to bring a blessing, to open us up with good hearts and good minds. And so as I think about that, and I think about the words that can be spoken, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the 215 children discovered in Kamloops. Just to pause for a second. Thank you. To offer some hope, to offer some compassion, care, and prayers for the families, the communities, and indeed all of our nations across this country. When we are asked to come in this way to share who we are and how we open up things, we remember who our relatives are, who our ancestors are. We remember all of those who take care of us. So we think about the sands, the soils, the clays, the gravels, the rocks, the stone beings in the mountains. These are the most ancient beings on earth, and the ones who open up their arms to embrace our bodies when our life walks are done. They are the ones that hold our Earth Mother together. They are the ones that teach us about strength and resilience. They are so old. We call them grandmothers and grandfathers. And on this day, I encourage you to give them greetings and thanks. We then want to draw our hearts and minds towards all of the grasses, the shrubs, the trees, the bushes, the hardwoods, the softwoods, the berries, the hanging fruits, and all of the medicines. These beautiful beings sacrifice on a daily basis for our well-being. They are the ones that fill our bellies when we're hungry. They are the ones who heal our bodies when we're not well. They are the ones who provide beauty for our senses. They are the ones who protect us from the elements. And on this day, I invite you to give them greetings and thanks. And then I want to go to the third order of creation, the one that we call the swimmers, the crawlers, the flyers, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, those that live up in the sky world and those that live beneath the earth. When we think about these beings, we're thinking about our elder brothers and sisters. They are our relatives. They're our teachers. They also sacrifice for our well-being. They are the ones that teach us how to live as communities, how to treat our young, how to never take more than we need, how to live in balance and harmony. And so on this day, I encourage you to bring your hearts and minds together and give them greetings and thanks. Now, the last order of creation would be the human family. No matter who you are, where you come from, how you identify, you are part of the human family. And on this day, I acknowledge you. Our people acknowledge you. These lands welcome you. And so I want to take this time to encourage you to bring your hearts and minds together and give greetings and thanks. You see, this event's being held on the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island. And they continue to hold ceremonies for these lands. Every grain of sand here is made up of the bodies of our ancestors because we've been here for thousands of years. So it's easy to feel a connection. It's easy to give thanks. It's an honor to be able to stand here and remind you to join me in that process. I hope as we think about this time and we think about the purpose of this gala, and we think about all of the good that can be found in the work that we collectively contribute to, that you will find it in your heart to be as generous as possible, but also to be as connected body, mind, spirit as possible. I am Shkoden Nigan Wawaskonen, head or leader of the fire flower, come from the great Anishinaabe nation, and it's my honor to welcome you to the Mayor's Gala this year. Thank you. Miigwech.
Hi, I'm Shaun Collier, Mayor of the Town of Ajax, and a proud resident of this great community for the last 52 years. I'd like to thank you for joining me as we present the 2021 Ajax Mayor's Gala and our virtual road trip. I'm excited to bring you along as we tour the town and showcase many of the things that make Ajax so special. There's a lot to see. Let's get going. Thank you again for joining us.
Let me introduce you to the Salvation Army's newest tool, our community response vehicle that we use for our Hope on Wheels program. It's a great tool for us to be able to serve the marginalized in community, and we're very pleased to be able to offer it to the Mayor's Gala for their road trip and presentation of all that they've been doing.
At the western edge of Ajax sits the Pickering Village Heritage District. This area was originally settled by the Adjei First Nation. The first European settler, Irishman Mike Duffin, a fur trapper and fisherman, arrived in 1770. Duffin's Creek now bears his name. Despite having a post office and being given the name Pickering in 1829, the area grew slowly until the completion of the Grand Trunk Railway in 1856. That stimulated the community's development, and it became an important commercial and grist milling center. The main road through the village, Kingston Road, got its name due to the area being on the stage route from York to Kingston. On March 1st, 1953, the area was incorporated as the Village of Pickering. At that time, it had a population of nearly 900. The village's first municipal office, police station, and jail were built in 1961. Today, that building houses the town's Village Community Center. Pickering Village is home to many historic buildings. Many of the newer buildings add to the character of the village, including the Tudor-style courtyard.
I always have loved Pickering Village. My first place I ever lived on my own was right here in Pickering Village. It's a place of incredible history and heritage. And one of my favorite places is Casa Verde. Architecturally, it's beautiful. When you look at it, you see the medium pitched roof, the central gable, the Gothic window. I'm told this is very typical of that period in the 19th century. One of the interesting things about this is that it had a small trap door that was sealed behind stone. And the suspicion was that it used to be used for rum running. What we do know is that Rachel Irish was there and that this was her home. That Rachel Irish, as a proprietor, was also a midwife in the mid-1900s, and that she really was responsible for most of the babies that were born in this area. In 1991, a young chef who was an entrepreneur decided to start Casa Verde, and that's the building that we know today.
In 1807, Quaker Timothy Rogers purchased 800 acres, which he used to settle several Quaker families. The Quaker Meeting House was originally built in 1867, the year of Canada's Confederation, by the Society of Friends Quaker Congregation. In 1943, the building was purchased and renovated by local Freemasons. Over time, the building had come into disrepair.
In 2015, Ajax Council approved the transfer of the property and building to the town. Doing so aligned with our Heritage Advisory Committee's mandate to preserve historical sites, architecture, and to promote the cultural history of the town. We received a grant through the Canada 150 Community Infrastructure Program to help offset the renovation costs. The end result was an extensive renovation of the historic Quaker House and the creation of a new space for the community.
At the start of the Second World War, Allied forces began to search for a site to build a new munitions plant. The decision was made to build it in Canada, and following an exhaustive search, the government expropriated 2,900 acres of land in Pickering Township to locate the plant. When Defence Industries Limited was completed in 1941, it became the largest munitions plant in the British Empire, with 9,000 employees who hailed from across the country.
Of the 9,000 people that worked at the plant, 7,000 were women who came from all across the country and were known as the Bomb Girls. Because of their remote location, employees were provided with housing, and given the size of the workforce, the result was something that started to resemble a town.
Key infrastructure such as housing, services, entertainment, and recreation were all built, which made the plant a town unto its own.
GIL management ensured there were lots of things to do when not working. There were sports, movie nights, and dances on weekends with servicemen waiting to be deployed from Pickering and Oshawa. The rec center had a dance hall, bowling alley, and library. So overall, life as a bomb girl was pretty good.
Originally known as Dillville, the residents and workers decided a new name was needed. Following a naming contest, Ajax was chosen, which was the name of a British warship involved in the sinking of a German battleship Graf Spee during the 1939 Battle of the River Plate. At the end of the war, and after producing 40 million shells, the plant was no longer needed and was closed. Many of the former Dilco employees decided to stay, and in 1946, a small satellite campus for the University of Toronto was established. The university agreed to assume many municipal responsibilities needed for a community of this size until it closed its campus in 1949. Following the university's departure, the community was handed over to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. Work then began under the vision of George Finley to convert the area into one of Canada's first master-planned modern communities. By 1950, petitioning began to remove Ajax from a crown colony into an official municipality. And in 1955, the Corporation of the Town of Ajax was officially formed. In 1941, the first building completed at DIL was the steam plant, a vital component of the factory's operation. The tall smokestack of the steam plant can still be seen today. The Ajax Steam Plant was designated a heritage site under the Ontario Heritage Act in 1991 and operates today as Index Energy Ajax, a cogen plant that produces electricity from the burning of biomass. The history of hospitals in Ajax dates to World War II, when Dilco workers were served by the Defence Industries Limited Hospital. The hospital, located close to Town Hall, offered 38 adult beds and 12 bassinets, but was closed at the end of the war due to the closing of the munitions plant. When Ajax officially became a town, concerned citizens rallied to address the ongoing healthcare needs of the community. Organized by volunteers, a door-to-door fundraising effort supported the construction of a small wooden hospital, which was built where the Ajax Pickering Hospital sits today. A total of $25,000 was raised, enough to build the hospital, buy needed equipment, and even an ambulance. Today, Ajax Pickering Hospital is a modern, fully equipped, 327,000 square foot acute care facility, and is an integral part of the healthcare needs of residents of Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby.
Ajax Pickering Hospital has always been here to meet the needs of our community, today and in the future. On July 28th, we were proud to announce our partnership with the Government of Ontario and Infrastructure Ontario to bring a brand new long-term healthcare facility here to the site of the Ajax Pickering Hospital.
Ajax Pickering Hospital has always been a vital part of our community, and this behind me, 320 state-of-the-art long-term care beds, is the latest addition. That's 320 beds that'll be ready this year, built in close partnership with Mayor Collier and the Town of Ajax, beds that will provide quality, long-term care for Ajax residents for years to come.
The Town of Ajax is excited to be working with community partners to plan and create an Indigenous community and healing garden right here at the Ajax Pickering Hospital. This unique space will build a sense of belonging and community while offering alternative fresh food sources to the community. It will also provide traditional Indigenous healing and learning opportunities and promote social and wellness activities for hospital staff, patients, and residents. The garden will build relationships and strengthen the town and hospital's commitment to the Indigenous peoples of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation and other Indigenous groups as we take steps together towards truth and reconciliation.
The St. Francis de Sales Roman Catholic Church was originally constructed in 1871 by Henry Langley. Notable design features include Gothic arched stained glass panels which bear the names of some of the community's founding families who also donated to help build the church. The steeply pitched roof is marked by 3 rare rose-colored window dormers and have the original decorative filigree ironwork at each peak. Church Street derives its name thanks to the cathedral.
We are thrilled to be recognizing the 150th anniversary this year of this amazing building. Once it was owned by the town, our goal was to ensure it benefited all Ajax residents. After the restoration was complete, the St. Francis Center is now a wonderful multi-use performance venue and the first of its kind in West Durham.
In 1999, the church was designated as an Ajax Heritage Building. In 2007, the town acquired this key cultural and heritage landmark to protect and restore the structure. The acquisition is an important one as it represents the first publicly owned and accessible heritage facility in Ajax.
The St. Francis Center is home to several local arts groups ranging from community theater to choirs and hosts outstanding entertainment and cultural experiences in our community.
I often question if a coffin is where my legacy is destined. A rigor mortis reflection of me, buried 6 feet deep in the 6, my legacy, my soul, awaiting the arrival of 12 disciples and no remnants of me. No fruits of labor left from my seeds, not leaving this world better than when I came in. My name, forgotten, not even whispered upon the lips of those my actions impacted. It's scary. I heard once that the worst thing that can happen to us when we are no longer here is not death itself. It is to be forgotten. And I cringe at the thought of my efforts lost in coffins, boxed in the same confines that caused me problems, my life, my beliefs encrypted in tombstone, indicating the dates to and from. But I hope the dash in between represents more than just the good work I've done. My life blowing in the wind like the breath that has left my lungs, only to leave this world unfulfilled with holes in the potential that I was given. And respinning the same cycle to my children. See, when your time comes and your soul is sent, what will the dash on your tombstone represent?
Ajax Town Hall sits on the grounds of where the former Dilco administration buildings were located. Originally built in 1967, Town Hall was expanded in 2007 to meet the needs of a growing community which today sits at about 120,000 people. At Ajax Town Hall is where you will find the main branch of our public library, Celebration Square, and the Memorial Outdoor Swimming Pool. Located just outside of Town Hall are a series of outdoor lockers designed with an important purpose. The lockers can be rented for a nominal fee to be used by members of the community in need of a way to protect their personal belongings. And funding for their installation was made possible by the Ajax Mayor's Gala. In 1957, Ajax Town Council passed a resolution to honor the brave sailors from the 7th HMS Ajax, by naming the streets after those who lost their lives during the Battle of the River Plate. As the town continued to grow, this list was further expanded to those veterans who survived the battle, those who served on the HMS Ajax any time during the war, and those who served on the HMS Exeter and HMS Achilles during the Battle of the River Plate. Ukrainian immigrant Alexander Pekov arrived in Pickering Township in 1929 and established the Pekov Cattle Company. The business later changed to dealing saddle horses. Through the 1960s and 70s, most of the quarter horses sold in Canada were sold through Pekov. Pekov's equestrian shop is still one of the province's largest tack stores. In 1969, Pekov opened his 65-acre farm to foster and support quarter horse racing. Pekov Downs and its famous J Track was a popular community-oriented quarter horse racing facility. It was the training ground of many of horse racing's most successful jockeys, who would later go on to winning careers racing with thoroughbreds. In 2009, Pekov Downs was renamed Ajax Downs. A new 5/8 of a mile track, stables, and a full grandstand were built, along with room for a new slots facility operated in conjunction with the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Commission. To this day, quarter horse racing continues to run at Ajax Downs, offering a unique style of horse racing that is unlike any other. The facility continues to be an active member of the community, hosting several racing and non-racing events, as well as supporting many community organizations through charitable efforts and fundraising.
The Pekov family have been an integral part of this area for 100 years. Their belief in community activism, as demonstrated through their charitable and fundraising efforts, have created an indelible legacy which we're all thankful for, and I'm thrilled that we've been able to include some of their history in our virtual Ajax road trip.
5 generations of our family have been proud to call Ajax home. It's been our pleasure to be actively involved in our community, and to that end, we're also proud to be one of the presenting sponsors of the 2021 Ajax Mayor's Gala and a virtual road trip.
At the northern edge of town, you'll find Greenwood Conservation Area. Managed by the Town of Ajax, Greenwood consists of 283 hectares of naturalized green space, nature trails, walking paths, and playgrounds. This area is a popular recreation destination year-round and offers pristine green space for everyone to enjoy. Located in the heart of downtown Ajax is Pat Bailey Square. The square, named after the first mayor of Ajax, is a multifaceted gathering space and is the first of its kind in Durham region. Pat Bailey was an engineer and a professor at the University of Toronto. During the Second World War, he invented the ROCX, or telecrypton cipher machine for the Allies. Paying tribute to Bailey's significant innovation are the code patterns in the square's paving and sign.
Pat Bailey Square pays homage to the town's history with a special monument to honor the 7,000 women workers of Defense Industries Limited during World War II, who were known as the Bomb Girls. The monument, which was created by renowned artist Timothy Smaltz, uses approximately 50 actual photos and images of the DIL Bomb Girls to capture their likeness within this memorial.
Pat Bailey Square officially opened on September 16, 2018. It features an array of water fountains in a large pool, which becomes a skating rink in winter. It is a multifunctional space for public gatherings.
One of the most memorable events we've had here at Pat Bailey Square so far was when the town hosted its first ever Jurassic Park, Jurassic of the East. Thousands of Adjaians came together to cheer on the Toronto Raptors during their 2019 championship run. We were one of the 40 Jurassic Park venues across Canada, and it was exactly the type of event and energy this place was designed for.
It provides Ajax with a meaningful destination in the downtown, with long-lasting social and economic benefits, similar to Nathan Phillips Square and Young Dundas Square in Toronto. In the 1920s, real estate developer James Tuckett saw this pristine waterfront area within the township of Pickering as an ideal setting for the development of a cottage and resort community. By the late 1930s, the area became a busy summer cottage destination for Torontonians looking to get away and included a general store, a church, and even a dance hall. Today, the original cottages have been replaced by much larger homes, but the beach, as does the entire waterfront, remains accessible for the public to enjoy.
Pickering Beach is a true waterfront gem here in Ajax. Recently, we redesigned Lakeview Boulevard to provide more parking and create dual paths for both walkers and cyclists. We've also made improvements to both the park and the beach by adding new picnic areas and improving the beach itself. Birdwatchers love it here, and the dual trails have been embraced by walkers, runners, and cyclists. This is easily one of my favorite parts of Ajax.
The crown jewel of the town of Ajax is the waterfront. Ajax is the home of the longest stretch of undeveloped waterfront land in the GTA. The fully accessible waterfront is more than 6 kilometers in length and over 60 hectares in size, with plenty of green space, picnic areas, playgrounds, and 2 waterfront pavilions available for bookings. The Waterfront Trail, which is part of the Trans-Canada Trail, runs all the way from Belleville in the east to Hamilton in the west. It is one of the most picturesque waterfronts in all of southern Ontario.
Our waterfront has always been recognized as something to be protected. In fact, the first ever zoning bylaw passed by Ajax Council in 1959 established that our waterfront would always stay undeveloped green space for all to enjoy.
Lions Point hovers 20 meters above the rocky shores of Lake Ontario. It offers the highest elevation along the Ajax waterfront and is well known for some spectacular views. At the foot of Harwood Avenue is Veterans Point Garden. This is where Ajax commemorates its history and its connection to the HMS Ajax, Defense Industries Limited, and all the employees who made this area their home during World War II. The memorial at Veterans Point is designed to resemble the bow of a ship, and the streetlights appear like masts, which are all acknowledgments to the town's naming history. Just west of Veterans Point is the only dedicated heritage tree in Ajax, a 225-year-old red oak. At the western edge of the waterfront lies Rotary Park, which is often a hub for many public celebrations such as Canada Day and Ajax Home Week. A playground, 3,800 square foot pavilion, picnic areas, a splash pad, and a small boat launch provide plenty of opportunities for outdoor recreation. To meet the needs of the waterfront trail users at the eastern end of the town, Ajax built and opened the 1,500 square foot Carruthers Marsh Pavilion in 2010. The Carruthers Marsh Pavilion features washrooms, a snack bar, and space for private bookings.
The waterfront is part of an extensive on- and off-road trail system within the town, which stretches over 120 kilometers. As a dedicated cyclist myself, I have always loved the variety of trails and public spaces for me to ride on. Protecting our public green space, waterfront, and trails is something our council is fully committed to.
Ajax has so many amazing stories, and this road trip has just scratched the surface. I hope you've learned a few things about our amazing town, and this will encourage you to get out and explore on your own. The Ajax Mayor's Gala vision is to provide critical support to our community's most vulnerable, and to give unique, timely community initiatives a helping hand. I want to thank our generous sponsors for stepping up and giving us a chance to support the amazing work that's done by our charities of choice. On behalf of the Ajax Mayor's Gala Committee and our production team, I want to thank you for joining us. Be well and stay safe.
In 2019, the Ajax Mayor's inaugural gala set a precedent, a goal to support the town's acts of benevolence. This year, we celebrate the 3rd year of its genesis. Today, the town is home to nearly 132,000 residents. It is a burgeoning town, blooming with excellence, with a rich history and heritage that is now home to a diverse kaleidoscope of faces. A resilient township, and one of the fastest growing in our nation. This land is originally situated upon the traditional territories of the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe. In 1932, it was named after the HMS Ajax, a Royal Navy cruiser that served in the first significant British naval victory of the Second World War. Today, it is yours to explore. There are various landmarks like the Greenwood Conservation Area, or you can enjoy the beauty of one of the GTA's healthiest streams at Dufferins Creek. There's Rotary Park and Paradise Beach, a few of the landmarks this far east. There's also the Waterfront Trail with scenic views, the perfect place to walk and take a break on a warm summer day. This is a place where families come home to dream of a future for the generations to come, heading towards the light of the eastern rising sun. The Ajax Mayor's Gala is evidence of the impact we can have when we invest in community. When we pave the path, we create opportunities for others to thrive. When we share our light, we help others shine. This is a place where we all belong and are welcomed with open arms, where stars are born and bridges are formed. From Taunton to the shores of the lake, Ajax is a beautiful place where we celebrate one another with world-class cuisine and cultures from around the globe. This is a place where 65 languages call home. I recently found out that Ajax has the highest Black population percentage of any major Canadian city, with a population over 100,000. The diversity grows and is still counting. The hills we climb form collective mountains, and together we can all overcome, breathing a new future with hope in our lungs. The future many of us dream of looks like the togetherness and precedence Ajax has created, leaving a legacy where residents feel appreciated, where we're all proud to rep our flags. This is excellence. This is Ajax.